Good evening, ladies and gentlemen and ladies. I want to thank you for coming out. I know it has been a minute, and I apologize since I've been on. 4th of July, although it's a wonderful holiday for our country, is not my favorite holiday in the world. Just so many fireworks you can take until it starts to bother your anxiety and have other issues. But nonetheless, I am back. We are back. I want to say hello, everybody, and Juju Rabbit Hole. Thank you for coming out earlier and stopping by and saying hello. Devlin, too. I did get your email. I appreciate you doing so, sending me an email. I'm working on the answer. When I caught it, it was 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock this morning, and I was half asleep, and I didn't want to respond and not give you a proper or decent answer that what you were asking or saying deserves. So you will be getting a response tonight. Teresa Nelson, thank you very much for coming out. Miss Justice, thank you. Carrie, thank you as always. Dan Solomon, thank you very much for coming out. It is very important to say this tonight. This content is discussion is all opinionated and alleged, and frankly, some people will not like some of the things I have to say. Robin N, thank you very much. Nana Butterfly, thank you. Kimmy's Lounge, thank you very much. How are you? Haven't seen you around in a while. Pen 1010, thank you very much. So how many people, and I know we're just getting started, and I don't do polls, so I'm just going to loosely ask, of the almost 20 people that are here so far, how many people from the beginning of Carly Russell's disappearance sat there and said, this does not make sense? Belly, thank you very much for coming out. Jazzy Jewel, thank you very much for coming out as well. And now we have the Hoover, Alabama police coming out today saying, for those that don't think this makes sense, you're right, we don't either. To sum it up in short as possible terms, they said it does not make sense to us. Find Summer's Truth, thank you for coming out. Appreciate you doing so. Pen 1010, I will go a step further, and I'll tell you exactly what I said. And I'll tell you exactly where I said it. And this is why I'm going to say that people are going to not, some people are not going to like what I say. A few weeks back, I made an announcement that I have another channel that is a work in progress. And Carrie, you don't have to drop the link now at this time. You can do so later for my other channel. Katerina Rostova, thank you very much. Yes, it does not compute. The reason I'm bringing up that other channel I have, and is that I was on talking to Ziggy, and I don't know how many people know she also has a backup channel that deals with similar topics, the paranormal side of things, and using intuitive thought and the such. Different methods of reading and understanding situations. I'm just going to put it that way. Do not take offense to anybody. Don't think you have to go and run over there and sign up or anything for that to see anything. I was on Ziggy's channel the first night that everybody found out that she was missing. And we're going to be getting to that in just a moment. I'm just going to go back to make sure I say hi to everybody. Kathy K, thank you very much for coming out. Where's Mr. Q? John Q's in here? Did I see that right? Somebody's saying hello to John Q, and I didn't see him. Okay, I don't think I missed him. I don't see him. Well, anyway, during Ziggy's live, I was in the chat room, and Hair Curlers in Crime, thank you very much for coming up. Karen Baz, thank you very much for coming up. From the very get-go, when I was on Ziggy's backup channel, Ziggy knows who I am and knows that I have an intuitive side, and will occasionally ask my opinion for things that are going on her channel. When the story came out about her disappearance, imagery is everything. Understanding imagery is everything. Sometimes you get a picture pop up in your head and you don't know why it pops up in your head. But this was clear. It was a set of chains similar to what, if you remember, A Christmas Carol, Marley carries around a set of chains. That's the image I had in my mind when I was finding out about this. Flies on the coleslaw. Somebody must be a fan of summer picnics. The mental image I had in my mind was, thank you very much for coming out, by the way, flies on a coleslaw. Is that just that? It was a heavy set of chains. A heavy set of chains. Somebody was being bound to a story that was nothing but a lie. And that's what I said from the get-go. Somebody was bound to a story. Hippie Grandma and Laura Croft, thank you very much for coming out. Diane Sullivan, I think I said hello to you earlier, but if not, I say hello again. I also thought she said she was alive and she was going to be alive. She was going to make it through this. I didn't buy for one instant that she was kidnapped. And if you paid attention to that press conference today, now, folks, I'll be first person to tell you we're going to take a look at that in a little bit. I could only catch bits and pieces here and there. But something that stuck out to me was that her story was that she was forced out of her car and into the back of an 18-wheeler or into an 18-wheeler. For those that do drive or have driven and have or been driven on an interstate, have you looked at the back of an 18-wheeler? Do you know how many lights are on an 18-wheeler? And let me tell you, it is mandatory by DOT that if you have what truck drivers will call duck lights, that every single one of those duck lights works. Otherwise, you get fined by the DOT. Every single one of those lights has to work. There was no time frame for which a 18-wheeler stopped and picked up somebody. Trev Time, how you doing tonight? Thank you very much for coming out. Is this beginning to make sense for anybody yet? Hello, Sheba Mom. Thank you very much for coming out. Is her story beginning to make sense? Because I didn't put the name in the title or description of tonight's live, but it's sounding more and more like every single time Don Wells opened his mouth, the story got stranger and stranger about Summer. Jesse Jewel, thank you very much. No, it doesn't make sense. And it makes less sense. It makes less sense when you heard the prepared statement by the where she had worked, the spa, and it made even less sense when her parents spoke yesterday morning. I'm going to play you two different quotes from that press conference. This was, of course, the NBC News exclusive. They had went and done the interview, and copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Thank you, Ms. Justice, for throwing that up in the chat room. Let's just take a look here. I'm a little out of practice here, folks. I apologize. So bear with me just a moment here as I switch my screens around. Now, my volume's up as loud as it's going to get. So I don't know if it's your device, if you can't hear this, or that you need to put on your volume level up or put earbuds in so you can turn your volume level up. I'm going to play this, and it's not going to be extremely loud. I can't guarantee you. I can't control the volume level. It's not my video. I did not make this video.
What did you do when you saw her?
Bear with me 1 second, folks. I just realized it's not in my headphones here and I'm getting an echo. So here we go. We're going to try this again.
8 hours.
What did you do when you saw her?
We tried to hug her as best we could, but I had to stand back because she was not in a good state. So we had to stand back and let medical professionals work with her. But it's okay.
Last Thursday, police say Carly called 911 to report a toddler walking alone on the interstate. She pulled over while on the phone with a family member who described hearing Carly scream.
Her vehicle's unlocked, running. All her personal belongings except for her phone.
On the scene, police found no sign of Carly or a child, and they say no.
Her vehicle's found by the police on the side of the road, unlocked and running, with her phone and her personal items in the vehicle. We've since learned that she went to Target earlier in the day wearing a I believe it was after she left work, which would mean she's wearing a bathrobe that she took from her work. And her personal items, but not the food she bought, was in the vehicle or near the vehicle.
Children were reported as missing during that time period. The Russells waited in agony until Saturday night.
There were actually just so many calls and texts from people who maliciously lied to us. I just didn't know people could be so evil.
Authorities have not indicated where Carly was during the 48 hours she was missing or what happened. Her parents declined to share what their daughter told them, citing the ongoing investigation.
And can you tell me what happened Saturday night? Did you just get a knock at the door?
Anything leading to the case itself, we can't discuss that.
But they say speculation about the circumstances surrounding Carly's disappearance are only making things worse.
Speculation around the circumstances of the investigation are only making it worse. Yeah, I know. I cut it off a split second earlier there on them saying worse. Those CP Cosplay, thank you very much for coming out. I see you came in. Country Girl, thank you very much. I appreciate your Country Girl. Thank you very much for coming out. I see you slipped in as well. So still, this is still not making sense. I still get the feeling that there's more information to come out than we're being told. Because you have the rumors, the information that she supposedly was staying in a Red Roof Inn. You have the information that there was a little kid in the woods on the side of a highway. That she could see several hundred yards away. A toddler, by her description. When you hear the 911 call, we're going to take a look at that press conference from earlier today in a minute. Carrie, I'm glad you said that because I'm going to make a comment about that. The reason why the ambulance and there was need for medical is after 49 hours, she returned home. She walked into her home and was in a near catatonic state. For those who don't know, and I'm not trying to say anybody's dumb or anything like that, please don't think that. A catatonic state is something that happens naturally. And sometimes it's for protective purposes. Things like a person being dehydrated or a fight or flight instinct can even take over. The person is not conscious. The cognitive side of the person's mind shuts off, but yet a natural instinct kicks in. I know this place is a safe place. Mentally, a person knows that certain places is safe, like a church, a school, a hospital. These are all places that are ingrained into our minds. That these places are safe. Hey, DD, thank you very much for coming out tonight. Yeah, the Cheez-Its. The Cheez-Its will give it away for sure. But these places are ingrained since we're a young child that these places are safe. That a person in a catatonic state of mind, and I know of somebody that this happened to, that they had a seizure or a stroke, actually, I believe it was, while they were driving, and they were catatonic in response. But their natural instinct took over, and they landed up at driving to a hospital, not knowing how they got there. When they were being checked out in the emergency room. So that kind of reaction can happen. And yes, it is correct that they would need medical help. But I don't believe she was truly in a catatonic state. We'll find out. If you haven't heard the press conference yet that happened earlier today, we're going to find out that Google, as well as the Cheez-Its, gave away this whole story. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at that press conference. Bear with me a moment here. I lost track of where it was. Bear with me just a few seconds, folks. I appreciate it. Oh, of course it's going to do that. Come on now. My apologies, folks. I had this marked earlier and I lost it. Bear with me just a moment. Okay, so the video we're going to watch is the press conference. It is from another channel that I actually trust for news stories. If you have not heard of Agenda Free TV and you like following news stories about what happens and things like that, I suggest that somebody, if one of my mods don't mind dropping a link for them, we're using their information. I'm not worried about this gentleman trying to mix what I'm sharing. I've been in the streams before where I've told people to go ahead and use his information. He does not mind if you use his content as long as you credit him and don't hide that it is his content. So this is Agenda Free TV. That's this gentleman's name right here is Steve Lookner. You're going to hear his voice throughout. And this is the press conference that happened this afternoon. Just I believe a moment or two before. So bear with me if I move this around and get this. And please watch out for the Don Johnson Miami Vice suit. It's going to catch you off guard. For those who love the 80s, we all remember Don Johnson and Miami Vice.
Hold on a second here. What is going on with their site? Hang on.
Hoover Mayor Frank Mercado, spelled B-R-gation. Keep in mind that this is still an ongoing investigation, so there may be some questions that we cannot answer. With that, I will turn it over to Mayor Mercado.
Thank you and good afternoon for you all coming today. You know, 6 days ago, our community learned about the disappearance of Carly Russell, and it sent fear and pandemonium not just through our city, but the entire state and the nation as well. The media quickly joined us to get the word out about Carly. Our community sprung into action and they organized search parties, arranged prayer vigils, and they took other steps that I'm not even aware of to help in this situation. The Hoover Police Department quickly rallied multiple partner agencies, stopping at nothing to find Carly. I'd like to take this time to say thank you first to the Hoover Police Department, our partner agencies, our wonderful community, and to all those that aided in some way in connection with this situation. As the days have gone on and more information has been shared, we know everyone has questions. The Hoover Police Department is known for being very methodical and thorough with their investigations. For that reason, we did not feel comfortable speaking in detail publicly until now. It is important that we share this information now so that our community can be put at ease. So at this time, I'll turn the microphone over to Hoover Police Chief Nick Dursis. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank everyone for being here today. Besides me stands the team who played a significant role in this investigation. I want to thank our department, members of surrounding local law enforcement agencies, the FBI, Secret Service, United States Marshals, and ALEA for their assistance in this case. We said from the evening of July 13th, our focus would be the safe return of Carly Russell. That occurred on Saturday, July 15th, approximately 49 hours after she called 911 and disappeared. From that point, our focus has been to determine Carly's whereabouts during that time and what exactly took place. Let me say up front, this investigation is not over. We're still working this case, and we'll be working this case until we uncover every piece of evidence that helps us account for the 49 hours that Carly Russell was missing. However, through the public interest, and in some cases, public fear that this story has generated, we owe it to our citizens to tell them the facts that we have uncovered. So I will give you the facts that we know today. On July 13th, at approximately 8:20 p.m., Carly left work from a business at the Summit. Surveillance video from her place of employment shows Carly concealed a dark-colored bathrobe, a roll of toilet paper, and other items belonging to the business prior to her departure. She ordered food from Taziki's at the Colonnade and traveled there. She then traveled to Target on 280, where she purchased some granola bars and Cheez-Its. From there, she remained in the parking lot at that shopping center until 9:21 p.m. when she drove to I-459. Carly communicated on her cell phone with individuals known to her while on her path of travel up to the point of calling 911 at 9:34 p.m. And at this time, we will play the 911 call in its entirety.
Hi, I am on Interstate 459, and there is a kid just walking by themselves. Hold on. Where on 459 are you? I'm right next to the exit 10 by the River Med, like to get off by the River Med. Okay, so you're before the exit? Yes. Okay, and were you headed southbound or northbound? Like towards Tuscaloosa or toward 280? Towards Tuscaloosa. Okay. And was the child on the left or right side? On the right side. Were they walking northbound or southbound? They're walking towards Tuscaloosa. Walking southbound? Or how old do they look? Like a toddler, like maybe like 3 or 4. Did you pull over with them? Are you still with them? Yes. Okay, are you with the child right now? No, I'm not. I didn't get out of the car. I can see them though. Do you mind staying and keeping an eye on them until we get there? Yeah, sure, yeah. Okay, what kind of car are you in? I'm in a red Mercedes-Benz. Is it a sedan or SUV? SUV. I mean, it's a sedan, sorry. Can you put your hazards on for me? Yeah, they're on. Okay, did you talk to the child at all, or did you say anything to them? No. Okay. No. Do they look like they're injured? No, they don't. Are they white, black, Hispanic, or Asian? They're white. Okay. Is it male or female? I think it's a boy, a little boy. White male? Okay. So is he wearing clothes? Yes. Okay. What is he wearing? It's a white t-shirt, and it doesn't look like he has any pants on. It looks like a diaper. And you don't see any cars anywhere? No cars anywhere. Okay. All right. What's your name? My name is Carly Russell. And you don't see any injuries on the child from where you're at, correct? No, but I can't really see them that good. Okay. Try to keep an eye on them for the best you can, because I don't want you to lose track of them. Okay. All right. And do they have shoes on? No. Not that I can see. I can't really see that. Look. Okay. All right. I've got them on the way, okay? Just try to keep an eye on them, but the officers are on the way, okay? Okay, thanks. Thank you. Okay, bye.
Carly called a relative after speaking with the 911 operator. She went missing during that conversation sometime after 9:36 p.m. Traffic camera footage was obtained which depicted this portion of the incident, and that footage was analyzed as part of the investigation in conjunction with the 911 call and cell phone data to accurately determine the time frame. Carly's 911 call remains the only report of a child on the interstate, despite numerous vehicles passing through the area at that time. No one has called to report that a child is missing, and the Hoover Police Department did not locate any evidence of a small child walking down the interstate. Data from Carly's phone, including her Life 360 app, shows that she traveled approximately 600 yards in her vehicle while she was on the phone with 911, stating that she was following a child. 600 yards. That is 6 football fields straight, 600 yards. The Hoover 911 Center received a second call from Carly's mother, stating that a relative was on the phone with her when they heard Carly scream, and then they had an open phone line. Hoover police officers arrived on the scene within 5 minutes of being dispatched, and several other officers arrived shortly. They located Carly's wig and cell phone in the grass near the vehicle. Her purse was located in the front seat of her vehicle with her Apple Watch in the purse. The food she ordered for Tzatziki's was also in the car. The items she purchased from Target, as well as the items taken from her place of employment, were not in the vehicle, nor were they located anywhere around the scene. Hoover police deployed all available assets from the point in the search for Carly. Additional resources were called in to include our own drone unit, crime scene investigators. Numerous detectives responded to the scene. Throughout the day Friday, officers from surrounding local and federal agencies assisted Hoover police in the search for Carly Russell. Officers returned to the scene on 459 to conduct a thorough line search for evidence. K-9 teams from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department responded to check for any sign of Carly, the child that she claimed to see, and anything else that could be considered evidence in this case. Those searches all turned up empty. Private citizens, including search parties organized by our family, friends, began looking everywhere that they could to find any trace. These searches took place throughout the day Friday and again on Saturday, yielding nothing. At 10:44 p.m. on July 15th, the Hoover 911 Center receives a call from Carly's residence stating that she returned home on foot. In subsequent investigations, detectives obtained surveillance footage of Carly walking down the sidewalk alone prior to arrival at her residence. She was conscious and speaking with paramedics when she was transported to UAB. Detectives were able to obtain a brief statement from her prior to being treated and released. During the statement, she told detectives that while traveling down the interstate, she saw a baby walking down the side of the road and called 911. She stated when she got out of her vehicle to check on the child, a man came out of the trees and mumbled that he was checking on the baby. She claimed that the man then picked her up and she screamed. She stated he then made her go over a fence. She claims he then forced her into a car, and the next thing she remembers is being in the trailer of an 18-wheeler. She stated that the male was with a female. However, she never saw the female, only hearing her voice. She also told detectives she could hear a baby crying. She told detectives the male had orange hair with a big bald spot on the back. She said she was able to escape the 18-wheeler and fled on foot, only to be captured again and then was put in a car. She claimed she was then blindfolded, but was not tied up because the captor said they did not want to leave impressions on her wrists. She said that they took her into a house and made her get undressed. She believes they took pictures of her, but she does not remember them having any physical or sexual contact. She stated the next day she woke up and was fed cheese crackers by the female. She said the woman also played with her hair, but could not remember anything else. At some point, she was put back in a vehicle she claims was able to escape while it was in the West Hoover area. She told detectives she ran through lots of woods until she came out near her residence. During this interview, detectives noted that Carly had a small injury to her lip, and she claimed that her head was hurting. She also had a tear in her shirt. Detectives also noted that she had $107 cash in her right sock. Out of respect for Carly and her family, detectives did not press for additional information in this interview and made plans to speak with her in detail after giving her time to rest. Detectives continue analyzing data from Carly's cell phone that was left behind at the scene. We enlisted the help of the United States Secret Service in conducting this analysis. Part of what data includes several internet searches in the days leading up to her disappearance that I think are very relevant to this case. On July 11th at 7:30 a.m., the term, "You have to pay for an Amber Alert," was searched. On July 13th at 1:03 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term, "How to take money."
Facebook having issues. Hold on.
At 7:30 a.m. case with service and conducting this analysis, and made plans to speak with her in detail in her right sock. Out of respect for Carly and her family, detectives did not press for additional information in this interview and made plans to speak with her in detail. A search after giving her time to rest. Taken. A film about abduction was conducted. There were 2 searches related to Amber Alerts on a computer at Carly's place of employment, including one regarding the maximum age of an Amber Alert. There were other searches on Carly's phone that appeared to shed some light on her mindset, but out of respect for her privacy, we will not be releasing the content of those searches at this time. We've asked to interview Carly a second time, but have not been granted that request. As you can see, there are many questions left to be answered, but only Carly can provide those answers. What we can say is that we've been unable to verify most of Carly's initial statement made to investigators, and we have no reason to believe that there is a threat to the public safety related to this particular case. Thank you very much.
With that, we'll open the floor. Just please raise your hand and I will call on you. Carol.
Chief, do you
I apologize, folks. I stopped that video and I didn't realize I had myself muted on my microphone. But I'm glad you said that, Karen Boz, because that is exactly the observation I made myself when I heard the description. For those who do not like clowns, you may want to look away for a moment. But this does this, not pretty much, minus the makeup, look like the description of the hair or wig that the person was wearing. I mean, it's just hello, Dumpling. Hello, Lorray. Hello, Pink Fan. I did see you guys come in while I was watching the video. We were watching the video. Who said what? Thank you very much for coming in as well. Don't worry, I'm going to take the image down. But you get my point. That it looks like she was describing a clown's wig. Not somebody's normal hair, not a toupee, not a somebody went to a costume shop and bought a clown's wig. Yes, a little bit of a trigger warning for clownophobes there. Larry, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Good to see you. And Dumpling, I will take a look at that in just a second here. I don't have that email up, so bear with me a second here. Okay, so this is where we're going to watch next is a TikTok. This is a woman that I don't know the woman's name. I don't know her channel. I don't see it. If Dumpling, if you know whose channel it is, please shout it out in the chat there because I don't see this. is Authentic Celeste, the original person that made this video. She's been following this from TikTok and actually has done a really good covering this. So she does touch on the controversial side, which somebody was just in the chat saying that this involves something about her boyfriend cheating. I don't remember who said that, but I did see somebody say that a moment ago. Evie, thank you very much for coming out. I appreciate you doing so. But this woman sums up. I apologize. I did see a video from her yesterday on this, and she sums up this very, very well. So I'm going to go ahead and play this real quick, see what she has to say, because I found what she said yesterday or the other day very interesting. Here it is. Make sure, because StreamYard is doing a new thing with how it shares. You don't have to okay the share apparently now. It just all shares it. Oh, I apologize. If anybody hears my window, I have a window open. I'm sitting next to a window. I'm in the middle of rearranging my living room, and it's been unseasonably cool for next few days. Like we're in here in Northeast Tennessee, we're not going to be hotter than 80 degrees, and the temperatures are going to be like in the upper 50s and 60s for overnight lows. So I decided I'm not running my air conditioner for a few days, and I'm having windows open because it's just that beautiful outside. So if you hear if the cicadas and all the outside noise, if they bother you, please let me know. I will gladly shut the window that's I'm sitting right by. My apologies about that. No. I'm gonna be selfish, DD, and this is I'm gonna keep this. I'm going to be selfish and keep this because upper 70s, low 80s, like literally not hotter than 84 degrees, and overnight lows, and it just no. You got to come east and north for this treat. For this time of summer, this is a treat. But anyway, let's go ahead and watch this TikTok here.
Nurse Gang, what up? What up, Nurse Gang? What up, TikTok? So the update I never wanted to truly have to report on. So we've all been talking about the Carly Russell case. This is her Instagram, Carly. Over the last few days, she shocked the nation, and Black women all over the country felt empowered. We felt finally pleased that America was caring about Black women. Every national news outlet was reporting about Carly Russell. This is the first time this has ever happened. The hunt was on to find this Black girl. But then when she showed up at her house, it got a little greasy. Why did it get a little greasy? Because she just showed up. So then that's when the world got divided. Wait, what's going on? Something is not right here. Okay, we don't want to speak. We want our privacy. Something is going on. What is going on? Well, when you start talking about something, people start DMing you the truth. It looks like 50 people from Hoover have already got fired for leaking what's really going on with this case. And it's trickled into my DM. So you mean to tell me all this was because she was trying to get back at her ex-man? Yeah, that boyfriend that spoke out about her being kidnapped and held and tortured. Yeah, that was her ex-man. And he actually cheated on her with a stripper. And Carly had it out with the stripper. And to get back at him, yeah, she disappeared herself. And then got afraid when it blew up. This is what Carly said to the side chick. Itch, please. He told me everything you said about me, and you thought I told him to say that. I wasn't even with him. You're delusional AF if you think y'all little conversation was anything more than convenience and the fact that he used you to get back at me out of anger. You want to talk about I don't compare to you on your worst day? Girl, bye. You're miserable, or at least should be, being a stripper to provide for a child I've heard you've had from multiple people. So not surprised you don't know who your baby daddy is. Mention me or contact my NIGGA again, And you'll see I'm not the one to play with. You don't want you and your whole family touched. You're poor. I'm rich. You're a stripper. I'm a nurse. You're ugly. I'm beautiful. You could never. You're the bottom of the barrel. Someone from the police department just could not watch us all suffer. So they released these details. Here's the update. She's sticking to the story that she was abducted. She says she was lured into the woods by some people who live in the woods, described as a person with orange hair, balding on top, tied her up and drove her around and put her in an 18-wheeler and fed her cheeses for 2 days, and they painted her nails. They kept her on 150 somewhere, and somehow she managed to get away and run through the woods to her neighborhood until she got into her house and then goes into the hospital. Hoover got some Ring doorbell footage from her neighborhood, and it just shows her walking casually until she gets close to her house, and then she starts sprinting and flailing arms and acting a fool. She got caught stealing from work that day, failed out of nursing school, and has been on drugs. She had her friend behind her, and that's who picked her up. She was with her friend all weekend. The police knew she was safe because she unblocked her ex while she was quote unquote abducted. She planned to disappear and realized it wasn't going to work. What up, Nurse Gang? What up, TikTok? So the update,
And yet, this still doesn't make 100%. Yeah, I was having problems unmuting. I apologize. This still does not make 100% sense. It still doesn't make sense. There's something else going on that has yet to be discovered, stated, or information that the police only know at this point, or just in fact that they have questions that aren't being answered because she refuses to meet with the police again. Teresa, that was actually somebody from TikTok that has been covering this from the get-go. And she's done actually a really good job digging in and explaining Facebook's postings and social media postings and things like that, and putting it all together. I won't go as far as the full statement of this, Karen Bass, but I gotta agree. Pride goeth before the fall. She's not going to get it. From my understanding, working at that spa was actually a good job, a really good job. It doesn't make sense, and all the law enforcement in the time and the hours that they put into this, that she did this, I feel like she should have to pay for everyone's. There was so much more than law enforcement could have done, and put their time into more important cases, and she wanted to play a game. Sorry, that's my opinion. Lorraine, I agree. I agree. I kind of, the reason I'm doing the live the way I am doing it tonight is there, to me, I'm still in the how dare she stage. Because to me, this is all about a very selfish act. I want revenge on my boyfriend. I want to do this. I want to do that. And as I was talking about earlier about a person, how they can get into a catatonic state that a natural instinct can sometimes take over, and a subconscious state takes over, and they go to a hospital, they go to a church, they go to a safe place, a school, somewhere they are very familiar with. And what this woman just described, this TikTok video just described, is not catatonic state. That's just acting a fool and putting on a show. Look, I want to be the first person to say that my channel stands beside anybody that's a victim, truly a victim. When it comes to issues of DV, when it comes to marital issues, when it comes to somebody going through recovery, whether it be illegal drugs or drinking. I stand beside that person. I grew up witnessing that happening to my mother. I grew up in a house where getting smacked and not knowing the reason was a daily occurrence. So when I say I stand next to that person that is that victim, I literally mean I'm right next to that person. I'm taking every step of the way with that person and saying, you can do this because I know I did it. And it takes strength and it takes courage, but you can do it. But somebody like this deserves the scrutiny, in my opinion. It's that moment, that what the hell were you thinking moment. Lori, you're exactly right. You're exactly right, Lori. It was a very selfish and of her, and to know she was a child, to use a child and rehearse a 911 call. I agree 100% with this, because she sounded too calm, too collected. Carrie was questioning this earlier, and I don't have that question up any longer. Is this how you react to a child being on the shoulder or the side of an interstate? No. No, it's not. You get out of your vehicle, you stop your vehicle, you don't follow the child, which that car was going too fast to be following a child going 600 yards while she was on the phone. Even if a child was running, a toddler was running, they wouldn't be moving that quick. In my mind, my personal opinion, is you stop that vehicle, you look around for an adult, You put that child in the back seat of your vehicle. You should make sure your vehicle is shut off, and you stand outside of that vehicle where the child can't get themselves into any danger or harm by being near the highway. And you stand there and keep an eye on them and call 911. You don't drive an additional 600 yards. And those for Alabama, if you did see the press conference, the one officer that I didn't play said it makes reference to football fields, 6 football fields, and he makes reference to Legion Field. That's actually a historic football field in the state of Alabama. On a complete side note, I know it's early in the year, and I'll probably will mention this again. Ladies, if you're not into football and have a husband or boyfriend or a significant other, whatever the case may be, you want to score some brownie points, put this under your cap. You want to impress them about having some football knowledge? Here you go. The idea of a team gathering together in a huddle has everything to do with one college who originated the huddle. It's Gallaudet University. Don't be surprised if you never heard of Gallaudet. Gallaudet is a university in or college in Washington, D.C., and it's a college for deaf students. So they had to gather in a huddle in order to see the signals the quarterback was given for what play they were going to run. But anyway, going back to, football-minded person here, and I had a rabbit trail moment there. I feel like the parents were to make her talk and tell that she is, and tell what she has put them through enough of embarrassment. Here's the problem. I was at the beginning of the live tonight. I was describing she's bound by chains. We're talking like Christmas Carol, Marley chains. At this point, if she comes out and says anything to contradict what the police say, now that they put out there that they know that the information that they got from her is not true, she's digging herself a hole she's not going to be able to get out of. Dumpling, you're right. The last statement the parents gave is that they believe their daughter. But here's the thing. You have detectives, well-experienced detectives, and the police now coming forth saying, Shame, shame, shame on you. We caught you in a lie. Country girl, I believe that's right. I believe they do have a role in her being spoiled or entitled, or making the statements of being entitled. It's just odd. And I'm convinced there's more information going to come out. I don't mean to laugh, but I'm serious. I don't think this is the end of it. And it's not even like the police are going to make further statements. I'm not even counting on them to make further statements. I believe somebody's going to come forward and say something that is going to further this to be the police are right. We still have the aspect of that she was possibly shacked up in a Red Roof Inn for her to be hiding in. Because I don't know about you, but every time I've heard of a story about somebody being abducted, they're tied up somewhere, they're hidden in a basement, they're hidden in an attic. They're not being fed Cheez-Its and given a manicure. And if anybody wants to believe that's supposed to hide the person, who the person is, by giving them a manicure, changing the color of the nails, as a guy, ladies, no offense, we'll compliment that you did your nails up or you got your nails up done up. But that's for you. Guys don't care that you had your nails painted or got yourself a manicure or or that that you pampered yourself. That's a guilty pleasure or a splurge for yourself. Again, not criticizing, not trying to be offensive. Ladies, when you get all dolled up, you look immaculate. You look beautiful. You know, I'm not denying that. I'm simply saying that's a self-indulgence for yourself, a self-confidence builder for yourself. Somebody that is kidnapping you isn't going to do that. Didi, you're exactly right. I played that video clip earlier. where she goes, the mom says, paraphrasing, please forgive me. I'm not going to have the quote exactly right. I didn't write it down, but I didn't write down any notes tonight. That she wanted to be there, but had to back off and let medical do their job. And forgive me if you heard me burp. I apologize. Medical would have worked around the mom sitting next to her holding her hand. Up until the point where they made the determination that she needs to go to the hospital. And if she was responding and being able to get onto a gurney or a stretcher, whatever you want to call it, then she would have. And then got into the ambulance, and they would have allowed her to hold her hand or be beside her or around her again. Well, Carrie, that's exactly the movie she watched. That's exactly the movie she watched, was Taken, with Liam, I believe it was Liam Nelson. Yes, Lori, she did. The bathrobe, a little bit of cash from and I didn't hear a dollar amount, so I'm not going to dispute the $100. And some toilet paper, a roll of toilet paper. Okay, Carrie, you got me stumped on that one. I thought there was only one Taken movie. I only thought there was one Taken movie. I didn't think they knew they made a sequel to that. Liam Neeson. I said Nelson, didn't I? Karen Boz, you're exactly right here. Mom really wanted to shake her, not hug her. I don't know about you, but since there's like no payphones or anything else like that, you get a few blocks away from your supposed kidnapper. You go knock at somebody's house or go into somebody's business and say, "Hey, look, this is the situation. I just escaped from a abduction where I was being kidnapped. Can I use your phone?" That shop owner or that house owner, they're going, "Yeah, hold on 1 second. 911. Explain the situation. Let the police come and say, here, okay, here. And then you occupy the person by, yeah. Okay, go ahead. Go right ahead. Call your family. Let them know where you're at. This is the address you're at." Not have somebody walk in the front door after walking 3 miles. There are 3 Taken movies. Wow. That's a movie series I didn't watch. Or is it Cinderella? Is that she actually watched and actually Googled Taken? Cinderella version of Taken. Okay. Well, Cinderella is not Rodgers and Hammerstein Cinderella either nowadays, so it's a completely different Cinderella story. It's an excellent point. She was auditioning her own role in fantasy. I still say, Lorraine, you agreed with me back here that there was more information to come. It's not even information from the police that I'm looking for. Somebody's going to open their mouth and start speaking, and instead of saying they had an active role, they're going to start talking and telling what happened. And she's going to get exposed. I don't believe that she's told the truth. Please don't believe her. Okay. Dumpling, what are you doing? I'm not going to, Dumpling, I don't have your issue. I don't fall out of chairs. And my email seems to be not wanting to work. I'll have to check it in just a bit, Dumpling. I don't have it yet. Huntress, you're fine. Don't worry. We're just talking about how Carly Russell's story doesn't make sense. It just does not make sense. And no need to apologize. I understand. You got kids. It's fine. I'm a big believer in you got to take care of your family first. So don't worry about it. You're right. You're right. If there was any sort of mental issue or they suspected she was in any sort of danger or had a mental breakdown, but there was none of that. There was no 72-hour hold. She was released within just a couple hours' time of going to the hospital. Don't forget the Cheez-Its now. The Cheez-Its are just as important. Were they original flavor? Were they cheddar cheese? Were they sour cream and onion or whatever other flavors they come out with? That they're important too. Yes, I did pay some of the press conference today. You missed the Miami Vice Don Johnson suit. Personally, if I'm going to eat some kind of cracker, I prefer plain old saltines. Just me, can slap some peanut butter on them or have a slice of cheese on them, and I'm not crazy about Cheez-Its. I'd rather have oyster crackers over Cheez-Its. You're exactly right. It makes zero sense. Yeah, I heard, Huntress, I remember you saying that in, I think it was Dumplings Live, or somebody else, you had said that it was you or somebody else that lives in the vicinity of Hoover, um, that was saying that about living wicked close and worrying about that this was going to be a ongoing thing in your area. You've never heard of oyster crackers? Um, Oyster cracker is actually a really good cracker to put into soups. It's just a plain cracker, except for being like a square, like a saltine. It's just a little half-inch ball. Usually you have to look where down on like a bottom shelf of a grocery store if you're going to see them. They come in like a cellophane bag, not in like a box or anything like that. It's just a clear cellophane bag. Country girl, who you asking if they want their nails painted? Okay, hold on. I know because they get called different things in different parts of the country, different parts of the world, even. Um, this is actually what we call an oyster cracker, looks like. Just so you have a reference if you see them in a store. Maybe you call them something else. Bear with me 1 second here. That is what an oyster cracker looks like. It really has no flavoring whatsoever. It doesn't taste like anything, but a yeastless bread more than anything else. Of course, that's what a cracker really is. It's yeastless bread. Yep. That's what we call oyster crackers. It's just the perfect size to throw in soup. And when you're going to eat soup for here in the States, I don't know if it's a worldwide thing or not, but we like to put crackers in our soup depending on what kind of soup you have. And it's just the perfect size. It's just what they call them. You would think they call them oyster crackers. They would taste like oysters, but it has nothing to do with it. Huntress, I'm sorry. uh, uh, hey, you never know, right? You never know. Pink fan, have you ever seen anything like that now that you see what an oyster cracker is? No, no, no. You're fine. You're fine. Look, I listened to a guy on YouTube. His channel is called Lost in the Pond. I don't know if you ever heard of him or not. Really good guy, originally from the UK, moved to the United States to be with his wife, and um, and documenting through his YouTube channel all the first time experiences that he has in the United States. It's and some of the things that what might be called something over in the UK, how we call it different in the United States, and so on and so forth. And so I chuckle a little bit, not at your expense, Pink fan, but it just strikes me that it's something like that he's never said on his channel. But Huntress, that's the problem. She's not telling the truth. And if you go by I believe this is possibly changed, but al.com is actually a good website to go to for information, news information, or happening information. Huntress, you know this more than others, so please forgive me. For the happening information statewide in Alabama, al.com. According to that website, it's saying that the $63,000 is not being returned. $63,000 was the amount that was collected in that 49-hour time. I didn't see this at first, but thanks, Miss Justice. Again, it's very possible that it has changed and it is getting returned, or they're going to go the route of Summer Wells and let the courts decide what to do with that money. I think it should be returned. Okay, we're going to have to explore this a little bit here in just a moment. Okay, no. The AL article actually is questioning what is going to be done with the $63,000. It's not that it's going to be returned. Let me see if I can find it here. Hang on one moment. Oh, dear goodness. Now I'm seeing advertisements for oyster crackers. Article that is from July 18th, 8:11 a.m. This is AL.com. Crime Stoppers of Metro Alabama on Monday reversed course hours after announcing that more than $63,000 raised in reward money for information that led to the safe return of Carly Russell would be returned to donors. On Monday morning, the organization said they would be refund the $63,378 donated in the 48 plus hours the 25-year-old nursing student was missing. However, on Monday afternoon, they announced that was no longer the case. The investigation is still ongoing, and accordingly, there is no basis to refund any contributions at this time. Furthermore, the Hoover Police Department has not requested for any donor contributions to be released or refunded, the afternoon announcement stated. So they're looking for the Hoover Police Department for guidance on this. The Hoover, the town of Hoover, City Hoover, rather, for guidance on this to find out if this is to be returned to the donors. I apologize for my silence. I am not muted. If anybody's questioned that, I'm just looking over the article. Yep, updated at 4:18 p.m. to add the new statement from Crime Stoppers saying if the It is not refunding reward money. That was the note on the update. I don't know who said it. Crime Stoppers set it up. That's the organization that set it up. It was Crime Stoppers. Well, Kimmy, they're waiting for not too much unlike what happened with Summer Wells with the reward fund. They're waiting on guidance from a government entity. If if the government entity steps in and says, please, let's go ahead and return this money to people. It seems like this is there was no abduction. There was no need for anybody to be resourcing to gather money for a search. That would be a different story. They would be like a mayor or a city council step in to say that, then I'm sure Crime Stoppers would. Yes, I do think so. I think that there is going to be fallout from this that she's going to be held accountable for. I don't. I think we just got to wait to see how this all plays out to find out how bad this is going to be for her. But I believe there's something that they're going to be pursuing something. The police won't come out and say what they said today without them doing so. But that's the thing. Nobody cracked it. She showed up at home. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and drop a link. People are welcome to come up and join me. And through this link, when I'm dropping this link, I'm also going to be, we're going to start winding down a little bit here. I actually did not plan on talking for an hour and a half tonight, so forgive me, folks. This still just does not make sense. Anybody that wants to join me, the link is pinned at the top. Pink Fan, I have some questions for you. What kind of foods do you know that the United States has that you don't have in the UK? I'm curious. Pink Fan has me curious. I know it's off topic. I know it's not about Carly. And usually when I do it live, we stick to a topic. But I think that with this one, we've covered everything that has happened. It's a story that covered 49 hours. There's not a whole lot to talk about other than everything that's come out still does not make sense. And to point out where it doesn't make sense. Ray, I do agree. I think that the people that donated should get their money back because it's under false pretenses, not on the organization. But I do feel that they should be getting that. They should be getting that the money back. Not a problem, Huntress. I understand. You're welcome anytime. You know that. You've never heard of macaroni and cheese. So basically, elbow noodles and cheddar cheese or Velveeta cheese. We Americans love our carbs, so you have to understand that's a pasta thing. Oh, it's really, really good. Probably really bad for you, but really, really good. Probably one of those things where the state of California was at opposition 40 or whatever it is. It's on that list of causing cancer. Hello, Lorraine. Thank you for coming up and joining me.
Hello, RJ. How are you?
I'm doing good. It was a good day at work today, and I'm glad to be talking with everybody tonight.
Good. I just don't like the way this case is going.
No, it doesn't make sense. And
It doesn't.
With this, everything that's been put out there, it doesn't make sense. The puzzle pieces are not. It feels like we have the pieces of 4 different puzzles right now, and we're just trying to make one giant puzzle out of it, and nothing's fitting. It's not fitting together yet.
You're right. And just like she was making out that they had her in a semi truck. I'm here to tell you there ain't that much room in a sleeper of a semi truck for 3.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know.
I mean, she was too calm on the 911 call. I mean, there was no stress level at all.
Mm-hmm. So, for those who've not been in a sleeper cabin, it's bunk beds, and they say they're twins, but really they're like cots that you would use, army cots that you would put into a tent to sleep in when you go camping.
And some of them don't even have bunk beds.
Well, yeah, day cabs don't, but conventionals do.
Right.
For those who don't know, I actually drove tankers for about 18 months.
I did too. I drove semis.
I drove through the Northeast Corridor.
But you don't think they'll have to refund the money?
I think they're looking for guidance similar to Summer Wells. Somebody in government or somebody in a legal standing to advise them of what they need to do with the with the money in this situation, because Crime Stoppers is, in this particular case, is the agency that collected or started the fund for this. So I think they have to look for some sort of legal guidance on it. But in reality, that comes down to, in my opinion, giving the money back is the right thing to do.
Right.
So, Huntress, yes, it was absolutely beautiful today. I don't think it was 82 degrees for a high today, and it's in the 70s at this time of night. Just to answer her question, mid 70s at this time of night, which that is awesome. Although and just for instance, we're supposed to be getting thunderstorms tomorrow, which, hey, I could deal with a thunderstorm.
Yeah, we had them tonight.
A high of 78 for tomorrow. For this year, for this time of year in July, to only be in the 70s, that's a miracle.
You about ready to do a powwow dance, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Bring on the thunderstorm and keep us in the 70s. I'm all for it.
Oh, yes.
And that's no brag to anybody that lives farther south or lives out in west where, they're hitting triple digits like it's nothing. That's just, we're just getting a lucky break with weather this year, which living in the Appalachians makes me worry about how much fog we will get in August.
Yeah, you really have to worry about that.
Well, around here, Lorraine, you don't have to say exactly where you're from, but is it New Hampshire?
No.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I lived up north, Massachusetts, Philadelphia, we always looked for the old wives' tale of look at the size of the pine cones.
Right, I'm from Georgia.
Okay, but you live up there now, so as a predictor for how bad your winter is going to be.
Yeah, I've heard that.
You look at this. You look at the size of the pine cones. Well, here in Appalachia, they say that the number of foggy mornings in August will be the number of snowstorms you have through the winter. It being this cool in July makes me worry about those foggy mornings in August.
Yeah, I can remember when I would be running, when I was driving a truck, you'd be going, everything's green and you look up and then there's snow on the top of the mountains,
Oh, yeah.
But at the bottom it's still green and all. And
Mm-hmm.
I've seen where icicles will be hanging from the mountains, 5, 6 feet long in West Virginia and places.
Oh, yeah.
It was just, go to bed one night and be just cold and windy and wake up and it'd be snow everywhere the next morning. But I'm glad that the girl is safe.
I am too. Don't get me wrong.
Don't like the idea that she had to use a baby as a decoy, whatever, however you want to put it.
And I think that's part of what catapulted this into a national story the way it did. Is if she had said she had seen something in the woods and it caught her attention and she stopped and she didn't use a kid, and then the story, it would never have catapulted this to the level it did. But a toddler playing along the side of a highway
Right, because that's a pretty busy highway.
Yeah.
And she even said, I can't see very good at night. I couldn't see very far ahead of her. I mean, but she described a child at 3 to 4 years old, white shirt, diaper. I mean, she contradicted herself right there on the 911 call several times.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want to leave you up here by yourself.
Oh, it's I have no problem with that. I do appreciate you coming up and joining me. I try to reserve some time every night for anybody that wants to come up and is just tired of typing and wants to talk. It's an open time for every night. Nobody's forced to do it. Even though it might sound like a broken record, reminding people that it's people are welcome to join me. Um, I don't know about anybody else, but part of my job, part of my 9 to 5 is I type a lot, and I just sometimes I get tired of typing, even when I go to other people's lives and things like that. I get tired of typing.
I imagine. Imagine you do. But I'm glad to see you on a live. I mean, glad to hear you. But I'm gonna jump down. My niece just come in, and I'll still stay in chat. Okay.
Absolutely. Enjoy your time with your family.
All right. Thank you, RJ.
Bye. Okay. 10:45 here, and yep. That's basically what I got here. And Cary is not too far away from where I live. Um, it's a beautiful night here. The only issue that we're having with about the weather is that you have to be careful this time of year. I live near a mountain that has hiking trails, and every once in a while, bears wander off the mountain and go into the city. A couple of days ago, there was a bear spotted over by an elementary school that thankfully is not in school for another, right about, it's probably going to be another week and a half. They'll probably go back the August 1st or which is a Tuesday. So it's a little nerve wracking that we're seeing bears in the city around in that area. Oh, Pink fan, no! Don't apologize for that. We got to explore that further, though. We got to. So you don't have you never ate macaroni and cheese. Let's see. Let's name some very Americanized dishes or foods. Somebody said corn dogs. Did you see that? Have a good night, Kimmy's Lounge. Okay. Okay. Um, I like to cook, but I like cook pescatarian meals. So What I eat is pretty normal. Like the other night, I had made up some. I had made some chili lime shrimp tacos. That's pretty normal though, you know. So anybody in the chat, if you know something that's uniquely American, food wise, I'm curious if Pink Fan would have known it or heard of it. She's probably going to go run away now because we're pointing things out at her or him. Sorry if you're a guy. Hello, butterfly kisses. Okay, that there you go. That's a very that's actually a Thanksgiving thing. Green bean casserole. I thought so, but the name Pink Fan. But in a day and age where people don't believe in genders anymore, you gotta go. You never know. Okay, so green bean casserole. There are some variations where people will put ham or bacon in this, diced up ham or diced up bacon, but it's basically green beans, cream of mushroom soup, and something called French's onion. It's a topping that you put on it, and you bake in the oven. It's a very traditional Thanksgiving dish. Very fall dish, I'll put it that way. Okay, yep, there you go. There's a variation. I don't eat chicken, so I've always used cream of mushroom soup. It's actually really good. Really is good. I like it. I'm not a green bean person to eat green beans or snap peas, but I like it. And then Butterfly Kisses also suggested stuffed bell peppers. Shepherd's pie, I'm pretty sure they have because, forgive me, Pink Fan, Gordon Ramsay has made that for his restaurants in the UK. Goulash. That's an American thing. I don't know if that's just an American thing though. Hmm. Dumpling, that has got it. Yeah, cornbread. Yeah, cornbread. That's a Southern thing. That's a Southern United States thing. More Southeast. Well, no, they do cornbread in Southwest as well. It's part of Mexican cuisine as well, like New Mexico, Arizona area. uh, Mr. John Q, your ears must have been burning from earlier. Cornbread and buttermilk. Yep. Chicken and dumplings. How are you doing tonight, Mr. John Q? Teresa, that was a press conference. Not many times do you have the police get up on stage and go, "We don't believe the victim statement." And they don't even try to like, "We believe this and we believe that." And they just come out right and said, "We don't believe the victim statement, the supposed victim statement." I'm sure they have taco dishes, Butterfly. Mr. John Q, how are you?
RJ, what is up?
Oh, right now, we're just
Make it make sense, right?
oh, it doesn't. It just doesn't.
Much
There's
love
no
to
other
the
way of
chat.
saying it. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Crazy.
is.
But her narrative's being challenged big time, especially after today's conference.
Well, you have detectives in the police department get up on in front of or behind a podium and microphone, and they say we don't believe the victim's statement to summarize what they're saying. Then it makes you sit there and go, "Oh God." It doesn't make you even go, "Hmm." It just makes you go, "Oh God." Wow.
Yeah, it was very interesting to hear the police chief say what the detectives had to report to him that Carly said to them. All those things that occurred. And when it got to the very end of it, I said, "Oh, okay." I'm shaking my head and I'm going, "Okay, what did this girl put herself into?"
Well, she strapped herself. I mean, I'm talking like Charles Dickens' The Christmas Carol, Marley's chains. She's carrying those around with this story.
Yeah. So now she has to answer for it.
Absolutely.
She has to answer for it. And when they go back, when she's ready to talk, when they go back, they're going to have enough because when that tox screening kit test comes back, toxicology comes back, it's going to tell them everything that was in her blood.
Well, they already have the
If she gave blood, it's going to come back. If she didn't, then that is going to be a part of the report regarding obstruction.
Mm-hmm. Well, not only that, but they already have in the part of the press conference today was the electronic forensics.
Yeah.
They didn't even have to wait for that stuff to be analyzed. They're like, here it is.
Yeah, a lot was told. A lot was told. She told on herself when she made those searches, both on her phone and at the job.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who would do that? Why would you be thinking something like that? The day you go missing, allegedly, hypothetically, in her mind.
Oh yeah, and it's just where you came in. We were talking about food because I had made a statement about oyster crackers earlier, and Miss Pink Fan is from the UK and didn't know what an oyster cracker was. So we're just trying to help her fill in a little bit gap of what U.S. foods or what we call things in the U.S. a little bit.
Oh, you're sitting in here talking about food. Okay, I know I came in late now.
But no, this is just I don't know. I think the police pretty much know what's going on, figured this one out, but I think there's going to be some people that are going to go running to tell stories and tell what they know to dig themselves out of legal trouble, because I think I think there's just a couple of other people that are right now keeping their mouths shut. Was really waiting for today's press conference, and now that they are like, yeah, it's time to flip the script here.
Yeah, they applied good pressure on this case by holding that conference. Not only in Carly's direction, but also in the direction of anyone that she mentioned.
Right,
in
exactly.
her statement to detectives.
Oh yeah.
So it's got a vacuum, if you will, effect on them.
Well, the description of one person said pretty much to me, even though they said a bald spot in the back of the head, it pretty much sounded like to me that they were describing a wig for Bozo the Clown.
Yeah. Leaving your hands untied because we don't want to leave any rope impressions on your wrists.
Mm-hmm. And who treats their abduction victim to a manicure and feed them, not just hand them or throw a box to them, but feed them Cheez-Its.
Yeah. For 24 to 48 hours until they decide to let her go. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot that is not clicking together for law enforcement. And right now, I'm under the impression they're building a case towards her.
Oh yeah.
The only reason why is because they've got some federal issues to address as well. The FBI, United States Marshal, and the U.S. Secret Service were involved in this. And it was only because of the interstate traveling between Alabama and Nashville.
Right. Well, yeah. The look up a Greyhound ticket from I think it was Birmingham to Nashville.
Yeah. So when you cross state lines, you also bring in the feds.
Well, she didn't actually cross state lines, though.
Well, no. I'm saying, in their mind, looking at it from that perspective, that bus trip going into Nashville, they said, okay, it appears as, Alabama is not the only state we're talking about. You see, there's something typed out here in a search, Google search, about crossing the state line on a bus. That becomes a federal issue. Kidnapping, along with crossing state lines. That's all you need. That's all they needed to hear.
Right.
Yeah, because that ties the Fed right into that language. And the police chief didn't waste time getting them either. I think they did a fantastic job at jumping on this thing exponentially. And I mean, 5 minutes. 5 minutes after the 911 call, they were there. Where was she?
Mm-hmm.
That quick. And according to the 911 call, she was very calm.
Too calm.
Very
Too collected.
relaxed. She was almost as if she was trying to think her way through it, But yeah, all that's suspicious. And so we see why they held it so long, up until obviously today.
Oh, yeah. For the food conversation going on in the chat room, please forgive me. I do not know how to spell this, but I'm sure Pink Fan has no idea what etouffee is. Anyway, they're
still talking about food?
Oh yeah, they're still talking about food.
Oh hell! Well, okay. I see. I'm interrupting your meal.
Yeah, we're having a food conversation going on in the chat room.
Yeah.
Cabbage rolls, corned beef and cabbage, and grits. Yeah, there you go, grits.
Everybody making everybody else hungry. But I wanted to just drop in and
I appreciate you
say
doing
hello.
So. I appreciate you doing
Much
so.
love to you, Miss Justice, as always. I miss you. We'll be going back live. Been working diligently behind the scenes on several cases. So we just got finished doing a live on today's case results on the Carly Russell case.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a good one.
To be honest, it was a case. I was just sitting in the background and I was just watching and commenting on other creators' channels because I had done so on, I believe it was Dumplin' and maybe Ziggy, or it was Ziggy for sure. But we're just, I wasn't going to be covering it at all. And then all of a sudden, that before the press conference came out today, it happened. I had posted the live saying, "Just help me make it make sense," because I didn't get what I was missing. I knew I was missing something. Like I said, I kept having the imagery of Marley from the Christmas Carol carrying around his chains. And I kept going, that's exactly what she's doing. This story is nothing but chains weighing her down. And she's not going to get rid of these chains. And
got them wrapped around herself too tight. Too tight.
Mm-hmm. They say the devil's in the details, but this is one of those cases where her story was too tight. You're exactly right. Her story was too tight. That it had too much detail. That it's what made it unbelievable. It makes it where you cannot just believe this.
Yeah. So I believe in a short period of time over the next 24 to 48 hours, give or take, they'll have the police, that is law enforcement, will have the tox results back if they don't have them back already, because they already dropped the bomb, big one today. and give her that time to make sure that the next time they make that visit, she tells them exactly what happened those 48 hours. As if not, then this is going to take a bad swing for her.
Absolutely. Yeah. It just, they even said, this was struck me the most. Have you seen the footage of her driving on the interstate?
Yeah.
Okay. On the shoulder and everything?
Yeah.
She was on the phone with 911 driving on the shoulder, and they said she traveled 600 yards while on the phone with them.
Yeah.
But she supposedly saw a child in the woods on the shoulder, playing on the side of the highway. It's just, it's dumbfounding. I'm not trying to call this woman stupid or call her a liar or anything, but the story they concocted, and yes, I'm going to say there is a they there. It's just dumbfounding.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. But she was on that shoulder prior to her motion up until she stopped. She was on that shoulder for 3 additional minutes underneath the camera, out of camera range, sitting there with her blinkers on when she made the 911 call.
No, she was actually driving. Well, she may have stopped before the exit, because I believe that camera is a DOT camera before the exit.
Yeah, Gray Hughes timed it during the time that she pulled over to the shoulder and timed the 911 call exactly this at the same time she was sitting there in the car with the blinkers on. Because as soon as she concluded that call, then the car went into motion. And she got on the phone to the second call to a family member stating that, her story about seeing the toddler arose at that second call while she was in motion. That's when she got out the car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Gray Hughes, if you get a chance to go to his channel, he's pinned it down because we were very concerned about that timeline. And he pinned down the exact time the 911 call was made, and she was stationary. She wasn't in motion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It just the apples plus apples doesn't equal oranges.
Never.
Yeah, I think that's the most politest way I can possibly say anything about this is apples plus apples does not equal oranges.
Yeah, I'm sure the conversation that they're having in the household tonight is a very robust one.
Yeah, well, I'm sure of it too.
We're
talking about an Alabama family,
Yeah, they're gonna be loud.
It's not a upstate New York family, or it's gonna be loud.
Yeah. Well, definitely. Like New York, the people don't care, if you hear them or not.
Somebody forget sleeping on the couch. Somebody might be sleeping on the porch tonight. Or in the proverbial doghouse, just to make sure things cool off in the house for a night. We're talking about Southern Baptist, and you don't do what she did.
Exactly.
What the police basically laid out that she did. You don't do that.
Yeah, but they're gonna have a big issue if she doesn't come clean with her story. Major issue. You don't just call 911 because she called them.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't pulled over. and they had to make contact. No, she called them.
Right.
And so, about a toddler, 3 to 4 years old, running around with a white shirt and a diaper, late at night, 9:34, 9:36 at night on a highway that's, got 70 miles an hour traffic on one side and, a slow moving emergency shoulder on the right side. And it's dark out here. But their response time was impeccable. 5 minutes. They showed up.
Well, here's the thing. I did look at the map. I didn't pull up a map on this tonight, but the police station is right off of, I believe, exit 13. Where this happened was right by exit
that would
10.
be right. So that would be behind her, exit 13.
No. Oh, yes. It would be behind her. They were coming up. You're right. I had
Coming
my
up the
direction. Directionally, I was backwards. But yes, they came up behind her from just 3 miles down the road. You got lights and sirens on the highway. You're doing 90 miles an hour without even thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to get there wicked quick.
Yep. Just like they showed up on the camera.
Yep. Yes, just 4 minutes time, from what I heard. At least I think what the press conference said was 4 minutes. So Pink Fan, yes, she has actually has made a statement to the police, but I've heard, and this is a rumor, I cannot prove this. I don't know this 100% sure, and I've not seen any other source. I've heard two sources on this that somebody has said, two different people have said she hired a lawyer and is not making any more statements to the police beyond what she did the night that she came home.
Has that been confirmed?
I can't. I've heard two people say it, but I've not heard anything from like the police officially saying that she has a lawyer or the family saying they have a lawyer. Although with the statement that I made in that press conference, it seems like they would have a lawyer that is advising them.
Yeah, well, if they are advising them, then we pretty much know what the next step is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you don't go onto a national TV show that prepared to say that they've been advised not to make statements about the case, about her coming home.
Yeah, it's just one of those cases, RJ.
Ugh.
It's one of those cases again that seems to pop up every now and then from time to time that, tries every brain cell in your skull. Can you figure this out?
Like I said, I think the police, I think the police have this nailed, and they got her to rights, and things just don't make sense.
Yeah, that's what they said. Right. That's exactly what they said at the press conference. Things do not add up.
Right.
This is ridiculous. We still don't know. We still are not filled in on what happened to her for 48 hours.
Right.
Wait, what?
Well, if the rumor is that there is another rumor out there that she was being held in a Red Roof Inn.
Yeah.
Which was approximately 3 miles from where she lived.
Yep.
And as Lorraine is pointing out in the chat room, don't forget the manicure.
And at that Red Roof location too, and I know you're going to go back and take a look.
Oh, I think I know a lot about that Red Roof location. I'm just not talking about it because it's fruitless information now.
Yeah, but
especially about the owners.
Yeah. Yeah. There's still a lot that's going to come out of this. And they're at a point to where they have enough information to apply that pressure.
Forgive me, I was drinking some ice water. It might be nice and cool, or cool compared to what it could be in the South, but I still love my ice water.
But yeah, I just want to jump up here and say hello. Good evening to the chat.
Appreciate you doing so.
Yeah, definitely. And keep up the great work. I try to catch your lives whenever you're on and everything. If we're doing live simultaneously, obviously I can't be here.
Of course.
And then working in the background, on the cases that I'm working on behind the scenes. RJ's going live. Okay, I'll catch up just before I go to bed. I'll play it. Because you usually do a comfortable, hour, 90 minutes, give or take.
Yeah, I try to keep it 90 minutes, no more than 3 hours.
Yeah, because if I come up here, we'll be here until morning, right?
Well, yeah. Lorraine, thank you for coming back. That's why I'm not trying to get into maps tonight, because that's a 4 hour adventure on its own with you and me.
How you doing, John Q?
I am doing great. How are you?
Fine, I'm doing good. So what's your take on all this?
It's one of those crazy stories. It's going to get somebody in trouble if they don't come clean.
I know you're going to have it at the round table now.
Yeah, we had it tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I missed it. I'm
covered
sorry.
2 hours and 18 minutes of it. I think when you get a chance and take a watch, it's going to delight you.
I had to be here with my buddy.
Even hit a couple of funny bones, because we kind of flexed out a little bit tonight on it.
Cool.
Cool. I'll have to go watch the replay.
Yeah.
But no, man, I feel like I'm like RJ. I feel like there's going to be more information come out.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be
No
deeper
doubt.
than what we think. I believe.
No doubt.
Huntress. Wow. Okay.
What is Huntress talking about now?
No, Huntress is she's putting it down on the table.
No, she's telling the truth. She's telling the truth.
She's putting it right down on the table.
John Q, you have to go watch her sometime on her channel.
What's that?
You have to go visit her on her channel.
Yeah, Lorraine, you know who John Q would really enjoy?
Dumpling.
Juju.
Oh, yes. He would love to get in a debate with her.
Oh, I wouldn't call it a debate. It would be a really good conversation.
But yes, they would. Yes, they would like each other. Yes, they would.
No offense, Dumpling, if you're here, you're welcome to talk with John Q as well. But I'm just saying that, and I'm not trying to cut you out or anything. I'm just saying that Juju would be a really good person to pair up with John Q here.
She would love that too, because they cover about the same way.
And
the boldness, the way they speak.
Yes.
Because Juju's cut and dry. I mean, she's gonna tell you like it is. She's not gonna lie, and she ain't gonna buttercoat it.
Nope, no sugarcoating. When she has an opinion, she's gonna state it, and she's gonna be bold about it. And she loves to use maps.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I would definitely enjoy
and
connecting with her.
she's just now learning about Summer Wells. So she's not on like the track that like the big three are for Summer Wells, and I think you know, John, who I'm referring to. Um, the top three, probably the top three creators right now that talk about Summer Wells.
Right.
Um, it's well, you can say four because I would pretty much say it's Chris McDonough when he does, because he goes on with the lab now, and they usually talk about Summer Wells. The lab himself, Josh.
Yeah.
As you have said in the past, when it comes to information about Summer Wells, I'm one of the first places you turn to.
That's right.
And Trev Time, of course. I don't know if you've heard of him or not, but he's another one that does a lot of work with on Summer Wells. But it's three guys that are pretty much right now the main three people for Summer Wells information.
And Dumpling, she carries a lot of content on Summer.
She does, but
I mean,
I'm referring to the people that have covered her Summer Wells pretty much from the beginning.
Right. But Juju likes to cover the content where a lot of them don't get as much coverage as some do. She does like to bring them out.
Mm-hmm.
She's a good creator. But I love to listen to RJ, and I do like to listen to John Q. I mean, his chat sometimes.
Yep. There you go. Nana Butterfly saying Juju will be live tomorrow afternoon.
Yes.
I don't know what John Q's work schedule is, but if he'll be able to listen or not. But that would be. She's still, like I say, Juju's a new channel, but I'm just going to put the word out there, John, that she's very like-minded of you and I.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. She's
very analytical, very logical about it, not afraid to express her opinion.
Yeah, she's going live tomorrow at 3:30. So I just subbed to her channel and hit the notification. So
hey, KU, thank you very much for coming out.
Definitely check her out.
Oh yeah,
you will enjoy her. But RJ, I'm gonna get down where you can talk to John Q.
Oh,
John
you can
Q.
stay. You can stay. You don't have to go running.
Well, no,
yeah, I was the one that was supposed to drop down, and I just came up here to say hello and show my brother some love, and he wanted according to the live title, help me make it all make sense.
Well, the first time I met both of y'all were doing a live together about Summer Wells, and that's how I got in with both of y'all, subscribed to both of y'all. And
we've done a few. We've done a few about Summer Wells.
We've done a good number, a good number.
And I like the coverage you did on the Memphis kids.
Yeah.
John Q. I love that one. That was
okay.
Is that the Memphis 5 you're speaking of?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know I didn't do anything on Memphis 5, but I've done a couple other stories about I may have done it with you, John, especially what's going on in Memphis. They're still with the rogue police officers of the last statement they've come out with them on them. They still have not released everything on that. They're still talking about that. As well as Nashville, that school shooting that happened in Nashville, they're still waiting for a judge to declare which is copy of the transcript. Excuse me, not the transcript, but the manifesto is going to be released to public.
Okay. Yeah, people write manifestos. I mean, the last time I heard that word was back in Uvalde, Texas. There was, I guess, something in writing there. There was a Buffalo.
I was more so thinking Buffalo, but yes,
Yeah, Buffalo, New
absolutely.
York. That was another manifesto. That was a big one. That was a nasty one too.
Dude, that one was bad.
Yeah,
That one was
definitely.
bad.
So it makes you think, what in the hell are they putting in the drinking water? You know what I mean?
That's what I've been wondering. What's been in the water?
What's that?
That's what I have been wondering. What's been in the water?
Yeah, well, you figure over the last 20, 25 years of all the pharmaceuticals that have been commercialized on TV and what's being recommended for uh, different different medical situations when it comes to anxiety, depression. I mean, you name it, they got a medicine for it.
I'm just glad I'm not controlled
And
by
just to say,
medications.
and then again, just to say, okay, so what does medicine have to do with water? Well, obviously people have to go to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm. Well, not only that is they that have a good night, Huntress. Thank you very much for coming out. Not only that is, but they also dump their quote unquote excess down the toilet, and not all of it is water soluble.
Right. Yeah. That, along with all the plastics, you name it, in the landfills that don't break down, that take time to break down, that seep through the ground and get into the water supply.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got news reports now about PFAS, or PFAS, and PFOA and PFOS, contaminants
I'm trying
being
to write all
found
that
being
down.
found more so in the water now than it has in the past. And that's
Right.
through the DuPont company and 3M over the last 60 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, yeah. Let's not get started on the DuPont family.
Yeah.
Come on now. I was born and raised in the Philadelphia area. I know quite a bit about the DuPont family.
Yeah. So
Little Deb, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming out.
Well, RJ, I'm gonna call it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to be wrapping up in a moment or two here at myself, Lorraine.
okay,
So
right. Well,
I
I'm
do
going.
thank
I'm
you.
going out with Ray, RJ.
All right. Have a good night. And John Q, as always, you are welcome back anytime. Like I say, if you want to join me, you have an opinion, don't want to type, just holler for a link and I'll be more than happy to drop one.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Well, you know me, and if I channel around and I find you on, and I know I'm free, and you have an open chat, I'll jump up here.
Oh, there are certain creators that they don't need to wait for an open chat. There are some creators I'll never let up on a panel. There's some creators that they can just simply say, "Hey, do you mind if I join you?" And they're going to get a link like that. You know what I mean?
Right. But it's
Kate,
good. But it's good to know. You gave me a key.
Absolutely. Answer Kate U's question. DuPont family actually is huge in Pennsylvania. If you are from Pennsylvania area, hello, the Real Rock and Robin. Thank you very much for coming out. If you are from the Pennsylvania area and ever heard of a place called Longwood Gardens, that is actually an estate owned by the DuPont family.
Mm.
And it was that place is absolutely gorgeous. It's one of those to me it's well worth a day trip if you live near Pennsylvania. to go see that and walk around the gardens. And if the restaurant's open, the food is absolutely excellent. Talking like 5-star dining food.
Yeah.
You ain't going there and getting a burger. They might have them on the children's menu, but you're not going for a burger. But anyway,
they're the ones that's going to lay a napkin in your lap and make sure you're up close, and all of your utensils and plates and glasses are all arranged, and all that other
a
good
specific
stuff.
wine menu, a specific yeah.
That would bring it at first.
Of course, yes. It's if you like gardens and the way the like landscape design and things like that, you actually walk through part of you in some areas. You walk through a greenhouse. Okay, and then my favorite time of the year to go, if I go, is between Thanksgiving and Easter. Because I've never seen anywhere decorated so well for a holiday as they do from Thanksgiving to Easter.
Okay.
But
real Rockin' Robin.
Yep.
Long time no see.
Oh yeah.
Now, well, for me, not for
well,
him.
I actually haven't been on since July 4th. I haven't been on since July 4th, before July 4th. It just, my area goes a little bit crazy with fireworks. And then I just was dealing with some stressors that I had to deal with. So after that, usually they celebrate for like the whole entire week with fireworks. And I just don't like fireworks. So I kind of stayed away from YouTube for a good week and a half, almost 2 weeks, or a little bit over 2 weeks, and just getting back to it tonight. And so you haven't. I've missed some of my usual people as well.
Right, but it's good to see that your channel is growing.
Yes, nearly 1,000. Yes, nearly 1,000.
Yeah, you're there. You'll be going over. You'll be going over. Be next live or so, give or take. You'll be over. You'll be over.
I was gonna say give it a couple weeks because I'm just getting back to the swing of it again.
Yeah.
I was just under. I mean, like maybe 2 people under 1,000, and then dropped back a little bit because I took of everything that's going on. So FunFest, no, that's on the other side of Kingsport from where I am, and I won't hear it. That's on the if you're familiar with okay, if go and talk about Summer Wells for a second. If you are familiar with what's her name? I'm drawing a mental blank on the woman's name. She's a psychic that tried to put out a lot of information that she thought was right about Summer Wells. And she had talked about a carousel and railroad tracks. Okay, if you look at, I've mentioned that in some of my talking about Summer Wells is about a food city where they give away food to people that are on. Yes, there you go. That's the name, folks. I'm just not saying it.
Gotcha.
The over by the food city, they have a pavilion where they actually use it now as, I believe, a farmer's market, but they also during the week on certain days will give away staples food to people that are on food stamps or whatever. There's also a carousel that's there. That's over by where FunFest will happen, is over in that area over by Dobbins Bennett as well, high school. That's that area of town. I won't hear it. I won't see anything of it from where I live.
Is it the sight, the sound, or both?
The fireworks?
Yeah.
It's the sound. It's it bothers my anxiety. My anxiety issues. That and tuner cars. They're the two biggest triggers that I have that I cannot stand. They just flip me out. Yes, Carrie Lawson. There you go. Fort Henry Mall. Thank you. It's down from the Fort Henry Mall towards downtown area. Oh, the Real Rocket Robert. They get some really good groups in there. It's not just country music, but they have a couple different stages where they'll have they'll have different themed nights. I don't know who the headliner is this year. If I'm going to go to a festival type of deal, my personal choice is to go down to Gray, which is in end of August, September. I don't remember the dates off my top of my head. I'll go down to Gray to the fairgrounds down there. I like it better.
Well, definitely, RJ. However, which way you go for the rest of the evening, I know you do it well, like you always do.
Absolutely. I'm actually going to be signing off. I have not been sleeping well the past few nights, and tonight I actually feel tired.
All right.
I'm talking like going to bed at 4:00 in the morning and back up at 8:00 in the morning. And tonight I just feel tired.
Wow.
So I'm hopeful that getting a nice hot shower after I get off of here and lay in bed, and hopefully I fall asleep.
Definitely. And no, I hear you. I hear you. I'm going there now. Definitely. But props, and you'll be over that 1,000. I know it.
Oh, I know. It's got to take it just to take a little bit of time.
It's
just
coming.
Deep breath and it'll happen.
But much love to everybody in the chat. Good to see a lot of familiar names.
Absolutely.
Carrie, much love to you. The Real Rockin' Robin. Good to see you too. And there was a number. A little Deb is up in here. Let me see real quick before I bounce. Miss Justice is one of my mods, and she holds it down in my chat and everything. First one there, last one to leave. As always, much love to you.
Person that turns the lights out on the way out the door, huh?
Yeah, Butterfly Kisses is up in here. Pink Fan is up in here. Kate Yu, my goodness. Yeah,
thank you, little Deb. I appreciate that.
Yeah, y'all hanging out in the right place. Y'all hanging out the Huntress. Y'all hanging out in the right place. Nana Butterfly.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well, y'all have a good evening. And until next time, y'all know where to find me.
Absolutely.
Y'all know where to find me, and I know where to find you. Y'all have a good one, all right?
All right, John. Have a good night. Much love to you, man. Have a good night.
You know it. Back to you, bro. Back to you.
Night. All right, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I'm actually feeling tired tonight. I have not been sleeping well. That is a legitimate. I had not been falling asleep till 4:00 in the morning and back up at 8:00 in the morning. So I am tired tonight. I'm glad to say I am tired tonight. But Real Rockin' Robin, that's awesome. I'm glad they had a good show at the fairgrounds. Fairgrounds down in Gray is huge and it is beautiful. They always have a nice showing. It's they have their 4-H section. They have their section for rides and activities. typical fairground stuff, and it's always it's a nice place to go walk around where they have the fairgrounds open, and during the fair. Little Deb, I actually think it's been my anxiety and being stressed out. It's not so much an insomnia issue, but I had a really good day today, so I don't know. Hello, Janice Newman. Thank you for coming out. I do appreciate that. Thank you, Pink Fan. I appreciate that, everybody. I really, really do. But anyway, everybody, I hope you have a good night. I will be back soon. Like I said, I'm trying to, even though tonight's Wednesday night, I'm trying to stick to a schedule of Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday or Sunday. I'm not most likely it's going to be on Sundays. But so I probably, unless something major happens, I'm probably not going to be back until either Saturday night, if I decide to do something on Saturday night, but most likely on Sunday. Dolores, thank you very much. I'm trying. I'm working on it. Now that we're past the whole fireworks thing and whatnot, I'm looking to be more active doing live. So I will definitely be back soon. But anyway, I hope everybody has a wonderful night. It is 11:45 my time. I'm going to call it 11:45. Even though there was a couple minutes after. Do you know where your kids are tonight? If you do, please give them an extra hug, a kiss. Make sure they know that you care about them, even if it's meaning to send them a text message and say, "Hey, I'm here for you." You never know when that moment can make all the difference in the world. Make sure you do so. This has been our Conversations Living Room with RJ. I hope you all have a wonderful night. Thank you. Good night, and I'm out.